Just follow instructions. That's really all this question is asking us to do. The line graph shows the total amount of snow in inches recorded each year in Washington, D.C. from 2003 to 2015. If P% is the percent decrease in the annual snowfall from 2003 to 2007, what is the value of P? So the only points they label are 2003 and 2007. You got to know that 40 and 10 are the numbers we care about because those are the snowfall, the Y values. And we know that we're going to use the open formula, 1 plus or minus P, because they're talking about percent decrease, right? So the original value, right, is 2003. That makes sense just chronologically, but it also just is what they say, right? So 40 is my original. We know it's a 1 minus P, and then my new value is 10. So, okay, then divide, right? So divide by 40, divide by 40. 1 minus P is 0.25, 1/4. Now, that's not the answer for a couple reasons, but the main one at this point is because we haven't solved for P. We haven't actually finished the job, right? That is true that the amount of snow in 2007 was 25% of the amount of snow in 2003, but that's not what they were asking, right? They're asking for percent decrease. So that's why many percentage questions really end up being follow instructions questions. You're giving a percent, but you're not giving the percent that they instructed you to get. So you gotta be careful of that. So finish the job, solve for P. So -1 minus 1, negative P is equal to negative 0.75. Drop the negatives and we get P is equal to 0.75. However, that's also not the answer. And this is the one drawback, in my opinion, of the open formula. The value of P that we just solved for is more like a capital P. They have this lowercase p that is the percentage as a percentage. Our percentage is a decimal, right? So 0.75% is not correct. That's not what we solved for. We found 75%. So 75 is our answer. So if you got it wrong because you put 0.75 in, yeah, that's frustrating, but that is a common thing that could happen. So be aware of that potential mistake. Like that's going to happen again, basically. It could happen again. So you just got to pay attention. But honestly, this to me, the SAT, the College Board says this is a hard question. I would consider this an easy question. The only reason I'm putting it in the category of a percentage twists question is that they did. But I think this is very, very formulaic. If we've got the right formula, the open formula, then there's really nothing to mess up here except maybe that decimal at the end. But gosh, you just got to follow the formula and know that what these questions are really about, the reason people get them wrong, is they're not answering the question. They're answering their own version of the question. They're giving some percentage, but it's not the percent that was asked for. And slight changes in the wording can change what they ask for. So you got to be really, really careful on these questions. You're reading things carefully.